Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Let's take a start with one full IELTS listening test. Now you have to be with me. We are going to solve all 40 questions, right? And if you understand each and everything, it means you are preparing for 9 band. I mean, if you understand each and every question and you answer well and all that, so it means you are doing preparation for 9 band. 9 band means 39 correct answers, okay? So let's take a start. First of all, you can see there, it's written complete the notes below. This line in italic will always tell you about the question type. So what's the question type? Notes completion or fill in the blanks. The second sentence which says write one word and or a number for each answer. This sentence will always give you instructions to deal with that question type. So one word and or a number. Answer can be pencil, answer can be one pencil, or answer can be only one. This means one word and or a number. Now, copying photos to digital format. For a second, whenever you read the title, in listening part 1, there is always a title like this. Whenever you read the title, you need to switch on your imagination for your better understanding. Copying photos to digital format. What does that mean? Copying photos to digital format. Digital format means in USB. You know, they say turn your photos from photo album to the digital one. So it means there's going to be a conversation where one person wants to get his photos copied into a digital format. Okay? Yeah. So now we see some information is given. Now listen, 2 things. Some information is given, some information is missing. Given information is to track the audio, because you have to track the audio. The information which is given, that will help you track the audio. Tracking the audio means where the audio is, you are there. If you are behind the audio or ahead of the audio, you can never find the answer. So as audio proceeds, you should go on with the audio and then you will find the answer. Now you can see here 4 centimeter. In first note, can you see 4 centimeter? When they say 4 centimeter, it means audio is there. After that, you can see photos must not be in dash or an album. Now album or something. So it means photos must not be in an album and in a dash, because when they scan the photos, so if the photos are in album, they cannot scan them properly. Now with album, the second word, whatever that is, that they say make sure your photos are not in album and they are not whatever they say like that. Okay, that will be the answer, right? Now I play the audio, listen, and comfortably you can answer.
Hello, Picture Rep, can I help you?
Oh, hi. I saw your advertisement about copying pictures to disk, and I'd like a bit more information about what you do.
Sure. What would you like to know?
Well, I've got a box full of old family photos that's been up in the attic for years. Some of them must be 50 or 60 years old, and I'd like to get them converted to digital format.
Sure, we can do that for you.
Right. And what about size? The photos are all sorts of sizes. Are there any restrictions?
Well, the maximum size of photo we can do with our normal service is 30 centimetres, and each picture must be at least 4 centimetres. That's the minimum we can cope with.
Well, that should be fine. And some of them are in a frame. Should I take them out before I send them?
Yes, please. We can't copy them otherwise. And also the photos must all be separate. They mustn't be stuck into an album.
Okay, that's not a problem.
What's the answer? Frame. Some of them are in frame. So frame and album, right? So the answer is going to be frame. Good. Let's go on. Question number 2. Cost. The cost for 360 photos is dash. Can you guys see the sign of pound? It means you don't need to write currency. You will only write the number. You will only write the amount. Currency is already given. And this amount is for 360 photos. For example, if he says we have 2 packages. For 200 photos, we will charge £50. And for 360 photos, we'll charge you £70. Like that. So the answer will be £70. Okay? Make sure you catch the right answer. there is one thing which is called trap. Now what is a trap? Trap is they will tell you the value. For 500 photos, we charge 100 pounds. And yours are 360, so we'll charge you 80 pounds only. Answer is 80 pounds. Okay, so you should differentiate right information from some mixed or confusing information. Let's start.
So, can you give me an idea of how much this will cost? I've got about 360 photos, I think.
We charge £195 for 300 to 400 photos for the basic service.
Okay, and does that include the disc?
Yes, one disc, but you can get extra ones for £5 each.
That's good.
So, including one disc, the price is 195. Okay, he said 300 to 400 photos, and that is 195. And if you want extra disc, £5 for that. All clear? Okay, good. Let's go on. Question number 3. Before the completed order is sent, they transfer the photos to digital format and they send you. Dash is required. Now they need something. Maybe address is required, phone number is required. They need something. And by the way, underline the word required. They might use the word we need, right? Or we should have your, or any other word like that. So let's see.
So, do I need to pay when I send you the photos?
No, we won't need anything until we've actually copied the pictures. Then we'll let you know how much it is, and once we've received the payments, we'll send the parcel off to you.
Right.
Once we receive the payment, we will send the parcel. So payment is required. Now underline is required. And for that they used once we receive. Right? For example, address is required. Once we receive your address, we'll send the parcel. So for is required, they used once we receive. Clear? And you should see that. Now listen, there are two languages working. The language of question booklet, which you have in front of you, and the language of the audio that touches your ears. So these two languages are different. What sort of difference? We have synonyms, we have paraphrasing, we have rewording. Now, if I would like to elaborate what is, for example, I can use the word pencil, I can use the word lead pencil. This is called synonyms, pencil or lead pencil. But if I say something to write with is what we call rewording or paraphrasing. Like instead of saying a glass, you say a container which is used to hold liquids. That means glass, right? So this sometimes it sounds silly that instead of pencil you are saying something to write with. Silly, but you know it's IELTS, so you have to accept it, okay? Now let's go on. Question number 4, services included in the price. Now they will talk about the services which are included in the price. Like roti khayenge to salad bhi saath milega free mein. Something like that, okay? So services that are included in the price. And for that they say, photos can be placed in a folder. For example, e.g. E.g. means for example, right? A folder, for example, with the name. Now it's going to be the name of the folder. Photos can be placed in a folder, for example, with the name. So what will be the name of the folder? Now, for example, whenever we do these recordings, I make a folder, Management House IELTS class recording, and then I write the date. So what will be the name of the folder? A folder in computer. That will be your answer. Simple, very simple. Okay, let's see.
Is there anything else you'd like to ask about our services?
Yes, I've roughly sorted out the photos into groups according to what they're about. So, can you keep them in those groups when you copy them?
Sure, we'll save each group in a different folder on the disk, and if you like, you can suggest a name for each folder.
So, I could have one called Grandparents, for instance.
Exactly.
I could have one called Grandparents. Grandparents. How many words? Pencil. Pencil, okay? One word. Grandparent. Because listen, whenever it is one word only, even if there are two words, write them together. Because it's one word only. Grandparents. Parents. Okay? You understand that? Yeah? Okay. All right. Grandparents. Let's go on. The dash and contrast. Now, those who are doing Photoshop or photo editing, they know for Photoshop two things are important. One is contrast and one is, let's see, in the audio they will speak about it, okay? The dash and contrast can be improved if necessary. They can improve two things of the photo. One is contrast and one they will tell us in the audio, okay? Let's see.
And do you do anything besides scan the photos? Like, can you make any improvements?
Yes, in the standard service, each photo is checked and we can sometimes touch up the colour a bit or improve the contrast. That can make a big difference.
Okay.
Okay, touch up the color and improve contrast. Okay, I request you all to be quiet until the audio stops, then you tell me the answer. Okay, so the answer is going to be color, and color you can write with British spelling or American spelling, C-O-L-O-R or C-O-L-O-U-R. I'm afraid they don't accept Punjabi spelling, K-O-L-O-U-R, color. Okay, so it should be with C-O-L-O-R or C-O-L-O-U-R. Clear? All right, let's go on. Photos which are very fragile. Fragile means delicate, nazuk, damaged. Fragile is like nazuk. Yeah, you know, whenever you send anything through cargo, they have a sticker on it, fragile. Fragile means handle with care. Okay, guys. Now, photos which are very fragile will be scanned by dash. Now, method of scanning. How will they scan them, right? Now, let's see.
And some of the photos are actually quite fragile. They won't get damaged in the process, will they?
No, if any look particularly fragile, we'd do them by hand. We do realise how precious these old photos can be.
We do them by hand. Now, scanned by hand, or for scanned they use the word do. Do them by hand. So the answer is hand, because by is already written there. And if you by mistake you write by hand, your right answer will be wrong. I mean, if answer is book and you write a book, absolutely, if it is one word only. So for one word only, they don't accept any second word. Let's go on. Question number 7. Special restore service costs extra. Now, if you have some special service, let's see what that is. It may be possible to remove an object from the photo. Like you have your photo taken, पीछे कोई जानवर आके खड़ा हो गया, अब समझ नहीं आ रहा आप कौन से हैं, or anything like that, okay? So, you know, sometimes you have to say, ये आगे वाला मैं हूँ, okay? So, they say it may be possible to remove an object from a photo. You want to remove an object from the photo or change the dash. Now listen, underline the word change and write there alter. A-L-T-E-R. Alter means to change. So let's see what is it that they can change for you.
And another thing is we can make changes to a photo if you want. So if you want to remove an object from a photo or maybe alter the background, we can do that.
Really? I might be interested in that.
Okay, chup kar ja. All right, alter the background. So alter means change, right? Background. So whenever you do listening test, underline these words. Like over here for alter, they use the word change. Over there for this, I mean, once you understand the language written on the question booklet and the language of the audio, how they can change it, once you understand that, you will find every answer. And one more thing, if they use the same language, because it's a language test. If they use the same language written here and they speak the same language in the audio, you can easily get 8.5. The problem is they change the language. Synonyms, sometimes stupid, I'm sorry, I'm on camera, paraphrasing. कोई logic ही नहीं बन रही उसकी, but they do that, okay? This is just to make it difficult. Anyways, let's go on. Next, a photo which is not correctly in dash. Now let's see, photo which is not correctly in dash, in something cannot be fixed. They will talk about a photo which cannot be fixed. They'll say, we can't do anything about it. So let's see what type of photo is that. And one more thing, in IELTS listening, never guess your answers. Never say, okay, I write this here, I write this there, photos I know very well, I can do this, or never guess answer. You never know what is there. Okay, even if you know something factually. For example, Washington is the capital of America. For example, you know that. But for IELTS, unless you find it, because if they have not mentioned Washington is the capital of America, it will be not given. Okay, so you should be careful. Don't use your general knowledge, just listen and read and then answer. Okay, let's see.
Oh, and talking of fixing photos, I've got a few that aren't properly in focus. Can you do anything to make that better?
No, I'm afraid that's one thing we can't do.
Okay.
So, focus. I play this audio again. Many of you missed it.
Oh, and talking of fixing photos, I've got a few that aren't properly in focus.
I've got few
Can you
that
do
aren't
anything
properly
to
in
make that better?
focus. So can you do something to improve it? He said, no, we can't do anything. So answer is a photo which is not correctly in focus. Focus will be the answer, right? Okay, let's go on. Other information orders are completed within. Very simple. Okay, I play this again. I play this again for you. Don't worry. She used the word in focus.
Oh, and talking of fixing photos, I've got a few that aren't properly in focus. Can you do anything?
No, huh? No, listen. She is saying focus. She is not saying focused. All right, listen again. Everyone, pay attention.
Oh, and talking of fixing photos, I've got a few that aren't properly in focus. Can you do anything?
In focus. I mean, she cannot say in focused. But she said very clearly in focus, right? So, and one more thing. When they give you half minute to check your answers, or at the end when you have 10 minutes to transfer your answers, then you can check some grammatical things as well. You can modify your answer at that point as well, okay? But you have to be careful. English, please. Wrong answer, absolutely wrong. Because that doesn't that doesn't come here grammatically. You cannot say in focused. We say in focus, right? All right, and there is one more thing. We call it collocations. Collocations are the group of words that come together. And by the way, you know there is a TV program also in focus. Have you heard that? The word in and then focus. So collocation is a group of words. For example, to make a decision. Now make and decision, these words usually come together. So collocation will also help you find the right answer. Okay, let's go on. Orders are completed within. It's going to be number of days or hours or weeks. For example, orders are completed within 2 weeks, within 24 hours, within 1 week and all that. Let's see.
Any other information I can give you?
Oh, how long will it all take?
We aim to get the copying done in 10 days.
Fine.
We aim to get the copying done in 10 days. So the answer is going to be 10 days. Now listen, 10 is a number, days is a word. So you should write it like 1, 0, 10 and DAYS days. Got it? Word and or a number. Okay, that's fine. Let's go on. Question number 10. Send the photos in a box, not dash. Send photos in a box, not dash. Now, not dash means you should not send your photos in something. You should send them in a box. Now, whatever the other thing is, that will be your answer, okay?
Right, well, I'll get the photos packed up in a box and post them off to you.
Right. If you've got a strong cardboard box, that's best. We've found that plastic ones sometimes break in the post.
Okay.
Plastic ones sometimes break in the post. So, send the photos in a box, not plastic. Got it? Plastic will be the right answer, okay? Well, let's take a start. This time we are going to learn how to deal with multiple choice questions. Let me tell you the most confusing question type in IELTS listening is multiple choice questions. The first thing. Second, students usually get confused and at the end they know answer is going to be either A or B or C. So whenever the answers are given in options, students mostly guess. And they get rid of that because you don't want to take the tension. Yeah, you say, okay, A, B, C. Okay, again A, again B, again C, and all that. So you should understand. Now let me tell you what is multiple choice question. The purpose of multiple choice questions is to check your ability that you can differentiate one right option from three options. Two options are wrong. They speak about them as well. They speak about them oppositely or negatively. And then you have to decide which is the right option. It's not that if they discuss only the right option, then you can easily find the answer. They discuss all three options for the most part. Sometimes they leave out one option as well. So first thing is you need to see the order, because in multiple choice questions, they do not discuss three options in an order. Option A, option B, option C. If they would have done it like that, multiple choice could be quite easier. You never know. They start from option C. Yeah, then they come to option A and then they finish at option B. Sometimes in the beginning they tell you the right answer and then they confuse you. And sometimes in the beginning they confuse you and tell you the right answer at the end. So we will focus that, okay? Multiple choice questions have two parts. One is questions and one is options. So we see how to read that. Question number 11. Dartfield House. Now don't focus the word Dartfield. Whatever it is, it's the name of a house. Like we said, Tawana House. You know, Tawana House and other house and this house and that house, okay? So Dartfield House School used to be a. Now this school used to is the past tense. Whatever it was in the past, that will be your answer. School used to be a. For example, they say school used to be a post office. School used to be a hospital, right? You know, you sometimes say, like there used to be a pond of water here when there are houses and all that. If you're that old, then you say that, okay. So, tourist information center. Tourist information. Now listen, you are going to look for an answer in the past. Whatever they say it used to be, or originally it was, or initially it started as a. Right? Started, it was, which tense? Past simple or past indefinite tense, right? So, underline tourist information center, private home. And option C, local council building. So, they will discuss all three options, but only one option they will tell us that it used to be that. And that will be your answer. Let's see. In actual exam, they will play the audio once only. In actual exam, they will not play the audio one by one. I'm doing it because I'm teaching you. Otherwise, they will play the audio all together, right? On Saturday, when we have the mock test, the way we are going to play the audio there, in actual exam, they will play the audio like that, okay? So let's take a start.
Good morning, and thank you for coming here today. I'd like to bring you up to date with changes in the school that will affect your children. As you know, the school buildings date from various times, some from the 1970s, some from the last 5 years. And of course, Dartfield House is over a century old. It was commissioned by a businessman, Neville Richards, and intended as his family home. But he died before it was completed. His heir chose to sell it to the local council, who turned it into offices. A later plan to convert it into a tourist information centre didn't come about through lack of money, and instead it formed the nucleus of this school when it opened 40 years ago.
No. What's the right answer? A. Good. B. Good. C. Yeah? Jisko jo mil gaya. Yeah? Alright, listen. They spoke about all three things. Now I'm going to play the audio again and I'll tell you what the right answer. Rather, you're going to listen to it again. Okay, write down one code. The code is BCA. B for boy, C for cat, A for apple. Now what is this code? This code is the arrangement of the options in the audio. First they will discuss option B, then option C, then option A. And this is different in every question. Don't say that BCA, I got the code. BCA laga do, okay? It can be ABC, it can be CBA, it can be ACB, it can be ABC, whatever, right? Now, let's see. Please now listen and be with me.
Good morning, and thank you for coming here today. I'd like to bring you up to date with changes in the school that will affect your children. As you know, the school buildings date from various times, some from the 1970s, some from the last 5 years. And of course, Dartfield House is over a century old.
So, what is the answer? Answer has not come yet. अभी तो बा चल रही है, okay? So you have to wait patiently for the answer. Audio went on for 30 seconds and she did not say anything about the answer, right? So sometimes, you decide the answer in the beginning, then you are enjoying. I found the answer. You don't know. Now the answer will come. Please focus option B.
It was commissioned by a businessman, Neville Richards, and intended as his family home.
Intended as his family home. Whenever they use the word intended, considered, thought, wanted, answers are usually wrong. Intended. Now listen what happened. He intended as his family home. Family home means private home. Now listen.
But he died before it was completed.
But he died before it was completed. शादी से पहले ही दुल्हन बेचारी फौत हो गई थी, okay? So he died before it was completed. So B is not the right answer. Now listen, another thing in multiple choice questions, eliminate wrong options. In multiple choice questions, eliminate wrong options and you will find the right answer. Right? Sometimes, when Mammu di beti bhi nahi, Phupho di bhi nahi, phir baki kahengi yahi bach di, hanji. Okay? So, this is what you have to do. Okay? Now, B, it cannot be the answer. Now we are left with A and C.
His heir chose to sell it to the local council.
His heirs chose to sell it to the local council. Now, some of you will say, okay, used to be a local council building. Now, listen.
Richards, and intended as his family home, but he died before it was completed. His heir chose to sell it to the local council, who turned it into offices. A later plan to convert it into a...
So, local council who turned it into offices. So, offices means local council building. And now, a later plan, option A, please come to that. Just listen to it.
And intended as his family home, but he died before it was completed. His heir chose to sell it to the local council, who turned it into offices. A later plan to convert it into a tourist information centre didn't come about.
Didn't come about. Huwa hi nahi. Right? Later plan didn't come about. A is not the answer. B is not the answer. C is the right answer. So when you know what is not the right answer, you always find the right answer. And this is the core technique in multiple choice questions. Let's go on. Question number 12. What is planned with regard to the lower school? Now they will talk about lower school and what is planned. Means what is their planning? Means what are they going to do with the lower school? So option A. All buildings on the main site will be improved. For improved, they might use the word repaired, renovated. Okay, so just underline all buildings will be improved. When the options are long in multiple choice questions, you have to focus nouns, verbs, adjectives. Right, now over here, all buildings will be improved. Option B, and in multiple choice options, never read article. Article is a, an, the, some, never read article. So option B, lower school site will be used for new homes. Lower school site used for new homes. So they will construct some new houses there. And option C, additional school building will be constructed. Okay, so we've got only 3 options. Now, what are they going to do with the lower school? Option A, building site will be improved. Option B, site will be used for new homes. And option C, additional school building will be constructed. So let's see.
The school has grown as the local population has increased, and I can now give you some news about the lower school site, which is separated from the main site by a road. Planning permission has been granted for development of both sites. The lower school will move to new buildings that will be constructed on the main site. Developers will construct houses on the existing lower school site. Work on the new school buildings should start within the next few months.
So, it's option B. The lower school site will be used for new homes. right? Now, option A, all buildings on the main site will be improved. They didn't say all buildings. They talked about one building. I play this again and the order is A, B, C. Please listen to it again.
The school has grown as the local population has increased, and I can now give you some news about the lower school site, which is separated from the main site by a road. Planning permission has been granted for development of both sites. The lower school will move to new buildings that will be constructed on the main site. Developers will construct houses on the existing lower school site.
Developers will construct houses on the existing lower school site. So lower school site will be used for new homes and housing. Question number 13. Catering has been changed because of. Now the reason. They have changed catering, and what is the reason for that? Reason number 1, what is catering? Canteen, cafeteria. That is what we call catering. So catering has been changed because of long queuing time. Long queuing time means there are 20 people in a queue and they cannot serve them properly. So that is why they are changing catering. Option B, changes to the school timetable. And option C, dissatisfaction with the menus. Right? So why are they going to change catering? Reason number 1, long queues, long lines. Reason number 2, school timetable, changing to school timetable. And reason number 3, dissatisfaction with the menus, like children don't like the menus and all that. Let's see.
A more imminent change concerns the catering facilities and the canteen. The canteen is always very busy throughout the lunch period. In fact, it's often full to capacity because a lot of our pupils like the food that's on offer there. But there's only one serving point, so most pupils have to wait a considerable time to be served. This is obviously unsatisfactory, as they may have hardly finished their lunch before afternoon lessons start. So, we've had a new food hall built, and this will come into use next week. It'll have several serving areas, and I'll give you more details about those in a minute.
Okay, so catering has been changed because of long queuing times, and the audio went like C-A-B, cab. Right, dissatisfaction with the menu. She said very popular. I'll play it again, don't worry, audio is here.
A more imminent change concerns the catering facilities and the canteen. The canteen is always very busy throughout the lunch period. In fact, it's often full to capacity because a lot of our pupils like the food that's on offer there.
A lot of our pupils like the food that's offered there. So dissatisfaction with the menu? No, they like it. So it isn't C, right? Now, please come to option A, long queuing time.
But there's only one serving point.
But there is only one serving point.
So most pupils have to wait a considerable time.
Most people have to wait considerable times. When they wait, it means one serving point and they wait. That means long queuing times. Queuing time means because they will serve one by one. So that is option A.
To be served. Pupils have to wait a considerable time to be served. This is obviously unsatisfactory, as they may have hardly finished their lunch before afternoon lessons start.
Okay, hardly finish their lunch before afternoon lessons start. So the reason is not the changes to the school timetable. The reason is long queuing time. Now please come to question number 14. Parents are asked to. Now what are they asked to? Option A, help their children. Can you notice this multiple choice option is starting with the verb? In this case, you will mainly focus the verb. Help their children to decide in advance which serving point to use. So, which serving point to use? Option B, make sure their children have enough money for food. Underline enough money for food. Option A, which serving point to use? Option B, enough money for food. Option C, advise their children on healthy food to eat. So, parents are asked to. Now, what is it that they are going to request the parents? Like you say, you the parents should do this thing, and that is going to be the answer. Let's see.
But one thing we ask you to do to help in the smooth running of the food hall is to discuss with your children each morning which type of food they want to eat that day, so they can go straight to the relevant serving point. There won't be any junk food, everything on offer will be healthy, and there's no change to the current system of paying for lunches by topping up your child's electronic payment card online.
A, well done. Now please write down this code ACB. ACB. Okay, please listen to it again.
But one thing we ask you to do to help in the smooth running of the food hall is to discuss with your children each morning which type of food they want to eat that day.
Okay, which type of food they want to eat that day means which serving point to use.
So they can go straight to the relevant serving point.
So they can go straight to the relevant serving point, that is help their children to decide in advance a day before which serving point to use. Now please come to option C. Advise their children on healthy food to eat. She said everything we offer is healthy. So they are not going to say that. Yeah, like say gola nahi khana, fries nahi khane, burger nahi khana. They sell everything healthy. So listen.
There won't be any junk food.
Yeah.
Everything on offer will be healthy.
Everything on offer will be healthy. So C is not the right answer. And B, make sure their children have enough money. They talked about payment system. Same payment system. But they didn't say make sure bachche ke paas paise bhi ho. Okay? They didn't say that.
Will be healthy. And there's no change to the current system of paying for lunches by topping up your child's electronic payment card online.
Okay, so they didn't say anything like enough money for that. There is no change in the payment system and all that. Okay, question number 15, please. See now, whenever you practice multiple choice questions on your own, you should be careful. For example, you read question number 11. You found the answer. According to you, answer is A. Then you checked your answer. The right answer is C. Now listen to it again. Why A is wrong? Why B is wrong? When you investigate into this thing, why A is wrong, why B is wrong, and why C is right, you'll become a pro at multiple choice questions. Okay? So you have to do it. It'll take time and energy and all that. Question number 15. What does the speaker say about the existing canteen? Existing means present canteen. What does the speaker say? Food will still be served there. Existing canteen means they are making a new canteen. So what are they going to do with existing canteen? Food will still be served there. If they say, well, existing canteen will be in operation and children will be able to buy food from here as well. That means food will be served there. B, only staff will have access to it. Existing canteen will become staff cafeteria. Like only staff can go there. And C, pupils can take their food into it. I mean, if they bring their lunch, they can take their food into it and they can eat it there. So what are they going to do with existing canteen? Option A, still be served there, food still be served there. Option B, staff will access that. And option C, pupil means students. Exactly, they can have their food there. So please listen.
You may be wondering what will happen to the old canteen. We'll still have tables and chairs in there, and pupils can eat food from the food hall or lunch they've brought from home. Eventually, we may use part of the canteen for storage, but first, we'll see how many pupils go in there at lunchtime.
So, C, pupils can take their food into it. And for old canteen, they use the word existing. I mean, existing is going to be old in the future. All right, let's go on. We've got another question type here. Okay, let's go on. Questions 16 to 18. Now, this is called matching, right? What comment does the speaker make about each of the following serving points in the food hall? Now, serving point and comments, you're going to match them, right? Don't worry, we'll do it all together. Comments are A, B, C, D, and serving points are 16, 17, and 18. Now, listen. Whenever they give you matching type of questions, you have to see where is the information. Sometimes information is in the questions. Sometimes information is in the options. What is information? If they write, for example, New York, London, Paris, Do we have any information in these three names? No. Right? If they say like Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, there's no information. So you have to see where do they give information. Now, for example, question number 16, World Adventures. It's the name of the serving point. We don't have any information here. 17, Street Life. Do you get any information? These are just the names. So remember, wherever they give the names, don't read them. You just read the comments. Okay, or comments should be read. Now, question number, option A, comments. Pupils help to plan menu. Pupil means students will help to plan menu. What does that mean? Students will suggest the menu. जैसे कल हमने नान अलीम खाना है. Okay, yeah, परसों हमने नान चने खाने. So they will help suggest the menu. That is option A. B, only vegetarian food, veg, no meat. Only vegetarian means no meat, only vegetables or veg, right? Option C, different food every week. For example, they say 1 week we'll have Chinese, second week we have Mexican food, third week we have Arabian food, and fourth week we have this and that. So what does that mean? Different food every week. You understand that? I mean, you must learn to interpret. If they have written here, option D, daily change in menu. If they say each day there will be a new variety of food, what does that mean? Daily change in menu. So the language written on the question booklet and the language spoken in the audio, you must learn about that. You should see, you should read examiner's mind. How far can they go? Now, I play the audio. Question number 16, a word adventure. Your left hand thumb or finger should be on the question. The hand that is holding the pencil should be on the options A, B, C, D, and then you can decide. Question number 16.
Okay, back to the serving points in the food hall, which will all have side dishes, desserts, and drinks on sale, as well as main courses. One serving point we call World Adventures. This will serve a different country's cuisine each day. Maybe Chinese one day and Lebanese the next. The menus will be planned for a week at a time, so pupils will know what's going to be available the whole of that week.
So, C, very good, excellent, clapping, come on. This is what we call trap. You've been trapped. Now listen, C is different food every week, but she said every day. Daily change in menu, absolutely. And after finding the wrong answer, you'll be double confident. मैं आप सुने ऐसी. Yeah, you'll be double confident. I play this one again.
Okay, back to the serving points in the food hall, which will all have side dishes, desserts, and drinks on sale, as well as main courses. One serving point we call World Adventures.
So answer comes from here. World Adventures.
This will serve a different country's cuisine each day.
This will serve a different country cuisine each day. Daily change in menu. Menu, not menu. Yeah, tennu ki hai, menu te nahi ki. So, daily change in menu each day and serve a different food. So, option D will go with question number 16. And by the way, one option can be used twice as well, right? Now, question number 17, street life. Let's see what do they say about it.
Street life is also international, with food from 3 particular cultures. We'll ask pupils to make suggestions, so perhaps sometimes there'll be food from Thailand, Ethiopia, and Mexico, and then one of them will be replaced by Jamaican food for a week or 2.
We'll ask the pupil to make suggestions. Yes, so pupil help to plan menus, right? Now they did say like country and all that. Okay, question number 18, speedy Italian. Now let's see what do they say about speedy Italian. I play the audio.
The speedy Italian serving point will cater particularly for the many pupils who don't eat meat or fish. They can be sure that all the
many people who don't eat meat or fish, exactly, only vegetarian. Yasin is also vegetarian only. Yeah, because he eats only meat. वेजिटेरियन मीन्स जो चीज वेजिटेबल खाती है ये उसको खाता है, राइट? तो कहते हैं मैं वेजिटेरियन हूँ. Question number 18, option B. Okay, now 16, 17, 18. Are you confused about any of these questions? I can play the audio again. Fine, good. And again, I'm telling you, I'm just demonstrating. Next, when you practice listening, do it like this. Because when you're doing alone, you are 100% with yourself. Now you have to pay attention to this audio, to me, look here, there, noise and all that. But when you're doing alone, you can do it very, very well. Okay, now we have double multiple choice questions. Questions 19 and 20. What is double multiple choice question? Where you have to select 2 options out of 5. Single multiple choice where you have to select 1 option out of 3. As Yasin selected, he's gone 1 option out of 3. So you got to select single multiple choice. Some people go for double multiple choice. Out of 5 you have to select 2. Some people go for triple multiple choice. Out of 7 you have to select 3. That is also there. We do have that, okay? So it depends anyways. Now let's see. In double multiple choice, the question statement is extremely important. That will tell you what is going to be the answer. So please follow me. Which 2 optional after school lessons are new? Encircle the word new. Okay, whatever is old, whatever is already there, whatever was there, that is not the answer. The answer is new. For new, they can use the word recent, the new one, right? Or we have added, or we have additional thing or anything like that, okay? So out of 5 things, 2 things are new. And the new things, they can say, we are going to start. We are going to start. We are going to offer. There will be. Or there'll be a new attraction, anything like that. And what are the things? Very simple. A, swimming. B, piano. C, D, and E, theater, sound, and lighting. So again, they will speak about all 5 options in any order. First, you got to and put your pencil at the end of the options. Don't put your pencil on A, B, C, D. Then you will read A, B, C, D. Okay, put your pencil at the end of the option where the option finishes. Then your eyes will show you complete word and your brain will identify the word like swimming, piano, acting. So listen, if they start the audio and they say, first of all, I would like to tell you about swimming. So your pencil should be there. If it is the right answer, tick. If it is the wrong answer, a small cross and move on to the next option. Okay, let's see. And now you'll tell me 2 options for the answer.
Okay, that's all on the new food hall. Now, after school lessons. These are very popular with pupils, particularly swimming. In fact, there's a waiting list for lessons. Cycling is another favourite, and I'm delighted that dozens of pupils make use of the chance to learn to ride in off-road conditions. It means that more and more cycle to and from school every day. As you know, we have a well-equipped performance centre and we're going to start drama classes in there too. Pupils will be able to join in just for fun or work up to taking part in a play. We hope to put on at least 1 a year. We already teach a number of pupils to use the sound and lighting systems in the centre. And a former pupil has given a magnificent grand piano to the school, so a few pupils will be able to learn at the school instead of going to the local college, as many of them do at the moment.
B and? No, not C. E, yeah, no, not E. C, yeah, A, D, Z, Y, X. Okay, all right. So again, I tell you, when there are options like that, you are highly likely to guess and escape, right? Now I'm going to play this audio again. One by one, we'll go to each option and you will tell me that this is right or that is wrong, whatever. Let's start.
Okay, that's all on the new food hall. Now, after school lessons. These are very popular with pupils, particularly swimming.
Now, did she say swimming is something new? No. These are very popular, particularly swimming. So swimming is not the answer. Let her talk.
In fact, there's a waiting list for lessons. Cycling is another favourite,
Cycling is another favorite. She didn't say it's new. When swimming and cycling you cross, your chance of success is more. Now out of 3 you have to select 2. Elimination is the best way, okay? Now let's go on.
And I'm delighted that dozens of pupils make use of the chance to learn to ride in off-road conditions. It means that more and more cycle to and from school every day. As you know, we have a well-equipped performance centre and we're going to start drama class.
We are going to start drama. Drama is acting. जो सारे ही करते हैं. Okay, so the first right answer is we are going to start. What is that? New. For new they use the word we are going to start. So the first correct answer is acting. And for acting they use drama. Right? Now let's go on. This time they're going to come to option E. E for elephant.
Is in there too. Pupils will be able to join in just for fun or work up to taking part in a play. We hope to put on at least one a year. We already teach a number of pupils to use the sound and lighting system.
We already teach. So sound and light, they said we already teach. That's not new, okay?
Systems in the centre. And a former pupil has given a magnificent grand piano to the school. So a few pupils will be able to learn at the school.
Will be able to learn at the school. Piano will be able to learn at the school. That is going to be something new. So piano, B and C acting. गुस्सा आता है ना कभी कभार क्या बकवास है हाँ All right, let's go on. Questions 21 to 24. Choose the correct letter A, B, C. So choose the correct letter. One of my students here appeared in IELTS. He got 30 multiple choice questions in one IELTS listening test. 30. Okay? So you cannot escape multiple choice questions, and especially if your target band is 8,777. 8 means 35 correct answers. I guess 34, sorry. So 34 correct answers. So you can't actually get 8 band without multiple choice. Now, let's pay attention, okay? Let's pay attention. Assignment on sleep and dreams. Simple. One student got assignment on sleep and dreams, right? Luke read that one reason why we often forget dreams is that. Very simple. Luke read somewhere one reason why we forget our dreams was, right? So what is that one reason that why we forget our dreams? Memories cannot cope with too much information. Memories cannot cope. Means our memories cannot cope with too much information. Simple. Option B. We might otherwise be confused about what is real. So be confused about what is real. Underline that. When option is long, only focus few words. And option C, we do not think they are important. Just underline not important. So Luke read that one reason, he read it somewhere, that one reason why we often forget dreams is that. What is reason number 1? Memories cannot cope. Memories cannot handle so much information. Option B, will be confused about what is real. Sometimes when you see a dream, you think it's real. Visa भी लग गया, Canada भी पहुंच गया, जहाज से बाहर आया, तो बाहर निकल नहीं रहा, पता चला सर चारपाई की पाइतों में फंसा हुआ है. Okay, so we sometimes, if you are planning to go to Canada and you see if everything is real, visa is stamped, everything, but then you wake up. So might otherwise be confused about what is real and not important, like dreams are not important, all that. Okay, now I play the audio again. They will speak in any order. And one option is correct. 2 options will be discussed oppositely or negatively, right? And he read somewhere.
So, Luke, for our next psychology assignment, we have to do something on sleep and dreams.
Right. I've just read an article suggesting why we tend to forget most of our dreams soon after we wake up. Most of my dreams aren't that interesting anyway. But what it said was that if we remembered everything, we might get mixed up about what actually happened and what we dreamed. So it's a sort of protection. I hadn't heard that idea before. I'd always assumed that it was just that we didn't have room in our memories for all that stuff.
Me too.
No, not B. A. Well done. How many of you said A? Good. All right. Now you have understood me. Okay. Listen. They did not discuss option C. They started with option B and then they went to option A. Right? Correct answer is option B. I tell you why. I'm going to play the audio again, right? मैं घर से पढ़ के आता हूँ. Okay, yeah. So I can answer every question. Yeah, never होते हैं. Some teachers they say, बेटा आप खुद से कर लीजिएगा. Yeah, and some teachers, you know, the teaching is an art no, what is that? There is another question. मैं आपको बाद में बताता हूँ. अभी ज़हन में आ रहा है. A good teacher can make the students understand what even he doesn't understand or something like that. Okay. All right. Question number 21. So I play this one again.
So, Luke, for our next psychology assignment, we have to do something on
Option
sleep
B.
and dreams.
Right. I've just read an article
I just read an article. Now focus.
suggesting why we tend to forget most of our dreams soon after we wake up. I mean, most of my dreams aren't that interesting anyway. But what it said was that
What it said. It means article. What it said.
if we remembered everything, we might get mixed up about what actually happened and what we dreamed.
What actually happened and what we dreamed means be confused about what is real. What actually happened and what we dreamed. Okay, now listen please for option A.
So it's a sort of protection. I hadn't heard that idea before. I'd always assumed that it was just that we didn't have...
Whenever they use the word considered, thought, assumed, it means there is the wrong answer. They only use the word assumed and then they speak exactly the same option. And when they speak exactly the same option, that is another sign that answer is wrong. Because before that, now there is one listening test, they've got this multiple choice. They only use the word nor, N-O-R, nor. And then they speak exactly the same option, nor, N-O-R, nor means they're speaking negatively. So when they speak negatively, oppositely, they use the word we considered, we thought, we expected. With these words, most of the time they speak exact options and they are wrong. Okay? So the correct answer is B. Now let's go on. You know, gradually, as one more thing, even if you are not at this level of English, at this stage of English, but as you practice IELTS, your level will increase, your level will improve. In listening, in reading, your level is going to improve. You solve one test, second test, third. I learned IELTS by solving the tests. I solved the test and nobody ever taught me IELTS. If you ask me who is your IELTS teacher, no one. I'm my own teacher, right? So be your own IELTS teacher. अपना सत्यानाश खुद ही कर लें. You need me, okay? Question number 22. What do Luke and Susie, Susie, yeah, your neighbor, okay. What do Luke and Susie agree about dreams predicting the future? Now listen, there are three options. Dreams which are predicting the future. Like you see a dream and that happens. Okay, so what do they agree? It means on 2 points they will not agree. And when they don't agree, they say, well, I'm not sure. Or I don't know about that. Or I don't believe that. I don't think like that. It means they disagree. And if they say, yes, you are right. You got the point. I also think so. That means they agree. So on 2 points they will disagree. On 1 point they are going to agree. And which is the answer? The one they agree. Okay, option A, it may just be due to chance. Due to chance means coincidence. You know, by chance you see a dream. Sometimes you're going back home and you have some special dish in mind, biryani, and you reach home and you ask what is cooked. They say biryani, and you say yes. This is what we call by chance. You're going back home, you've got biryani in mind, and when you reach back home, they say batau pakke ne. So bingan, okay? So you don't like that, okay? So they say due to chance. By chance this happens, right? Like some people get married by chance. Option B, it only happens with certain type of event. Underline certain type of event. You know, prediction of dreams or the dreams come true. Option C, it happens more often than some people think. Happens more often. More often means zyadatar hota hai. Mostly it happens. Now what is option A? Due to chance. For due to chance, they can use the word by chance. It's a coincidence. It happens by chance. Or like there is a probability of it. Option B only happens with certain types of events, like if there is an earthquake or there is a drought or anything like that. And option C happens more often than some people think. Let's see.
What do you think about the idea that our dreams may predict the future?
It's a belief that you get all over the world.
Yeah, lots of people have a story of it happening to them. But the explanation I've read is that for each dream that comes true, we have thousands that don't, but we don't notice those. We don't even remember them. We just remember the ones where something in the real world, like a view or an action, happens to trigger a dream memory.
Right. So it's just a coincidence, really.
Right, it's just a coincidence, really. A, it may just be due to chance. Due to chance means it's just a coincidence. Coincidence when something happens by chance. Okay, yeah. Option A, and they didn't speak about other two options very clearly. Question number 23. Susie says that a study on preschool children, underline preschool children, and study means research. Whenever they use the word study like this, it means research, experiment, and all that. A study on preschool children having a short nap in the day. So, study preschool children having a short nap. What is short nap? They sleep in the afternoon, right? A, had controversial results. The results were mixed. Or for controversial, they can use the word conflicting results. Mixed results, different results, opposing results. Option B, used faulty research methodology. They say the research methodology was not correct. It was wrong. The research method was wrong. For faulty, they can use the word wrong, incorrect, and all that. Option C, failed to reach any clear conclusion, means they could not draw a conclusion. Right? So whenever you read the option, just try to gather the main crux of that. Option A, controversial results. Option B, faulty research. Just faulty research is enough. And option C, failed clear conclusions or failed conclusions. Let's see.
Something else I read about is what they call segmented sleeping. That's a theory that hundreds of years ago, people used to get up in the middle of the night and have a chat or something to eat, then go back to bed. So I tried it myself.
Why?
Well, it's meant to make you more creative. I don't know why, but I gave it up after a week. It just didn't fit in with my lifestyle.
But most preschool children have a short sleep in the day, don't they? There was an experiment some students did here last term to see at what age kids should stop having naps, but they didn't really find an answer. They spent a lot of time working out the most appropriate methodology, but the results didn't seem to show any obvious patterns.
Right.
Well done. Failed to reach any conclusions. Now I play this again so that you get the right word.
Something else I read about is what they call segmented sleeping. That's a theory that hundreds of years ago, people used to get up in the middle of the night and have a chat or something to eat, then go back to bed. So I tried it myself.
This is not related to this, okay? So sometimes you have to wait patiently. The word research or study is important.
Why?
Well, it's meant to make you more creative. I don't know why, but I gave it up after a week. It just didn't fit in with my lifestyle.
But most preschool children have a short sleep in the day, don't they? There was an experiment some students did here last term to see at what age kids should stop having naps, but they didn't really find an answer.
They didn't really find an answer. What is that? Failed to reach any clear conclusions. So they didn't really find an answer. This is the correct answer. And for faulty research methodology, listen, what do they say?
They spent a lot of time working out the most appropriate methodology.
Most appropriate methodology. Here they've written faulty research methodology. In the audio, opposite is most appropriate methodology. So this is how they use opposite words or negative language. Okay. C is the right answer. Question number 24. In their last assignment, both students had problems with. Now listen, very simple. Whenever they use the word both, one student will say, I had this problem. The other says, I was okay with that. That is not the answer. Then the other student says, I had problem with that. then this student says, yeah, I was quite okay with it, I enjoyed it. That's not the answer. The answer is a problem that both students had, right? So in their last assignment, both students had problems with statistical analysis, numbers and data and how to analyze the data. B, making an action plan. And C, self-assessment. So where both had problem, that will be the answer. If one had problem, that will not be the answer. So please listen.
Anyway, let's think about our assignment. Last time I had problems with the final stage, where we had to describe and justify how successful we thought we'd been. I struggled a bit with the action plan too.
I was okay with the planning, but I got marked down for the self-assessment as well. And I had big problems with the statistical stuff. That's where I really lost marks.
Right.
A, statistical analysis. Very good. Be confident. Let's listen to it again. It's not A.
Anyway, let's think about our assignment. Last time I had problems with the final stage, where we had to describe and justify how successful we thought we'd been. I struggled a bit with the action plan too.
I struggled a bit with the action plan too. Now listen, what does she say?
I was okay with the planning.
I was okay with the planning. So option B, making an action plan, that's not the right answer. What are we left with? A and C. Now listen.
Self-assessment. Then, when we've collected all our data and calculate the correlation between our two variables.
Oh gosh, just a second.
Anyway, let's think about our assignment. Last time I had problems with the final stage, where we had to describe and justify how successful we thought we'd been. I struggled a bit with the action plan too.
I was okay with the planning, but I got marked down for the self-assessment as well.
I got marked down for the self-assessment as well. As well means if something happens with you, I say I got marked down for the self-assessment as well. So this is where they both had issues.
Well, and I had big problems with the statistical stuff. That's where I really lost marks.
Right.
Okay, so statistical analysis, she said she didn't use the word analysis. Focus this, self-assessment. I play this again. Okay, just a second. You guys didn't focus that. When she used the word as well, for example, if you say I have a headache, I say I also have a headache. The word also or as well means like I'm telling that you have this thing, I have the same thing again. Please listen.
Anyway, let's think about our assignment. Last time I had problems with the final stage, where we had to describe and justify how successful we thought we'd been. I struggled a bit with the action plan too.
I was okay with the planning, but I got marked down for the self-assessment as well.
I got marked down for the self-assessment as well. So as well means both, right? C is the right answer. And listen to A now.
And I had big problems with the statistical stuff.
I had bit problems with the statistical stuff, bit problems. But they didn't mention analysis.
That's where I really lost marks.
Right.
That's where I really lost marks, but the man didn't say anything about that. So that was the problem of her only. Yeah. Okay. Let's go on. Got to complete the test. अभी तो picture बाकी है. अभी तो खेल शुरू हुआ है. Questions 25 to 30, complete the flow chart. In part 3, sometimes we do have a flow chart. What is flow chart? There are arrows and these arrows are going down. Sometimes they go down, then they go left to right, then from bottom to top, and then they come back. So don't be afraid, whatever it is, sometimes because of space, they make it like this. The first step, second step, third step, fourth step and all that. But sometimes it's from top to bottom. So now we have top to bottom flow chart. Flow chart is like sentence completion and it's written here one word only. So let's see. Assignment plan. Can you see the first part of the flow chart does not contain any question. So you don't have to read it. Okay? Just you can underline the word relationship, but you don't need to read it. Now come to question 25. Decide on sample 12 students. Now, when they use the word 12, you have to be alert, my answer is going to come. 12 students from the dash department, very simple. 12 students from history department. Now, what can be a trap? A trap can be, we selected 5 students from English department, there were 10 students from history departments, and 12 students from mathematics department. So answer is mathematics, right? Just focus like that. So let's see, you'll find the answer.
So, shall we plan what we have to do for this assignment?
Okay.
First, we have to decide on our research question. So, how about, is there a relationship between hours of sleep and number of dreams?
Okay. Then we need to think about who we'll do the study on. About 12 people?
Right. And shall we use other psychology students?
Let's use people from a different department. What about history?
Yes, they might have interesting dreams. Or literature students.
I don't really know any.
Okay, forget that idea.
यहाँ पे ना एक पुतला बनाते हैं IELTS का, उसको डंडे मारा करेंगे. Yeah? Right? They confuse you a lot. Now what's the answer? History? No. Different department. Well done. Different naam hi nahi hai. This is not a subject. Yeah, it should be. So not different. It's not history. It's not different. What it is? Psychology. Well done. See that? Now, when you are giving me these answers, it means you have confused all this information. Answer is very, very clear. I'm playing it again. Okay, don't worry. You just need, initially these things will bother you. These things will irritate you. After some time, you will get used to it. Yeah, Yasin? शुरू में कितना मसला हुआ था? But now he's fine. Yeah, he's okay. He enjoys life like this. जिस दिन डांटनी पड़ती घर से मजा ही नहीं आता. हमें रोटी हजम ही नहीं होती, okay? So, yeah. Alright, listen please now, focus. And again I'm telling you, if IELTS is difficult today, it was extremely difficult for me and I had nobody to guide me. But I'm here to guide you. Okay, so don't worry. My years of experience I'm giving you in hours or in minutes you are learning it. So don't be afraid of IELTS. You know, when you go through these questions, there are 2 reactions. Reaction number 1 and reaction number 2. Yeah? Or siddha ho janga, okay? Something like that. So don't worry. Your reaction should be positive. You will understand these things. I am below average student. Throughout my school life, college life, university life, I've been below average student. Ye pata nahi miracle kaise ho gaya. So if I can do it, you can do it even better. I'm telling you, honestly, I'm telling you. Don't worry, okay? We'll do it all together. Chal rahe pen? Yeah, okay, good. So, let's see. Question number 25. Now, I'll tell you definitely what's the right answer. Don't worry. I'll not confuse you.
So, shall we plan what we have to do for this assignment?
Okay.
First, we have to decide on our research question. So, how about, is there a relationship between hours of sleep and number of dreams?
Okay, that's the question written there already. Now, they will move on to this one.
Okay. Then we need to think about who we'll do the study on. About 12 people?
Right. And shall we use other psychology students?
Shall we use other psychology students? First trap. He said 12 people. Now 12 means they are going to add number to that. 12 students. Shall we use other psychology students? So they didn't mention, they are going to make it 15 or 20 and all that. But now?
Let's use people from a different department.
Let's use people from a different department. So he said not psychology. Let's use people from a different department. And any answer which is not clear, different is not a clear answer. Department means it should be English department, history department, biology department and all that. So these type of words can never be the answer. Just keep that in mind, okay? Shall we use people from different department?
And what about history?
Yes.
What about history? Yes. Now no mot payegi agge bhi, yeah. What about history? Yes. Yeah. Your neighbor, huh? Okay. All right.
They might have interesting dreams. Or literature students.
I don't really know any.
Or literature students, I don't really know any. So literature students, I don't really know any. Not literature. Answer is well done. Exactly. Let's go on. Okay, history. Answer is history. Okay, not literature. Now, self-reporting you can underline. Question number 26. Decide on procedure. Answers on dash. Very, very simple. They need answers on computer, answers on tablet, answers on what? So where do they need to get the answers? Very simple.
Then we have to think about our methodology. So we could use observation, but that doesn't seem appropriate.
No. It needs to be self-reporting, I think.
Previous one.
And we could ask them to answer questions online.
But in this case, paper might be better, as they'll be doing it straight after they wake up. In fact, while they're still half asleep.
Right.
So, paper. First she said online, but she said in that case, paper will be better. And remember, ladies are always right. Okay, just listen to it again.
Then we have to think about our methodology. So we could use observation, but that doesn't seem appropriate.
No. It needs to be self-reporting, I think. And we could ask them to answer questions online.
But in this case...
Right, when they use the word but, in this case...
Paper might be better.
Paper, you know? English, you know? Paper. Oh, paper. Yeah. Alright, paper. Question number 27. Check ethical guidelines for working with. Now, underline working with. Working with. For this, they usually use the word involve. Right? For example, working with computers involve computers. Right? So whatever they say after that, that will be your answer.
And we'll have to check the ethical guidelines for this sort of research.
Because our experiment involves humans, so there are special regulations.
Yes.
Our experiment involve humans. So involve humans and working with human. Now you should remember that. Right? Either they use the word involve and in the audio they use working with, or they use the word working with here and audio involve. Sure.
I had a look at those, and we'll have to check the ethical guidelines for this sort of research.
Because our experiment involves humans, so there are special regulations.
Okay?
Yes.
Our experiments involve humans, so there are special regulations. Okay, ensure that, question number 28, ensure that risk is assessed and dash is kept to minimum. Now, what is kept to minimum level? That will be your answer. First thing is, risk is assessed, okay? Dash is kept to minimum, means minimum level of dash, right? Let's see.
I had a look at those for another assignment I did. There's a whole section on risk assessment, and another section on making sure they aren't put under any unnecessary stress.
Let's hope they don't have any bad dreams.
Yeah.
Any unnecessary stress. So stress is kept to a minimum. Don't have any unnecessary stress. Stress is the answer. Analyze the results. Question number 29. Calculate the correlation and make a dash. Now you need to calculate the correlation and then you have to make. For make, they can use the word make, create, design, construct, any other word like that. So what is it that they have to make after calculating the correlation?
Then, when we've collected all our data, we have to analyze it and calculate the correlation between our two variables. That's time sleeping and number of dreams. And then present our results visually in a graph.
Present our results visually. So make a graph, presents our results visually in a graph, right? So graph will be the answer. Last, question number 30. Dash the research. You have to do with the research.
Right, and the final thing is to think about our research and evaluate it. So that seems quite
The
straightforward.
final thing is think about our research and evaluate it. So it means research, right? Evaluate. No, evaluate. EVA, like evaluate. Yes. मैं तो डर ही गया. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. You know, sometimes they say, "Paji, मुझे dance करना नहीं आता. Paji, मैं नहीं dance करती. तू तो भाई मचाती है. वही सबसे ज़्यादा." End पे, at the end. Okay. So, all right. Part 4. Complete the notes below. Write one word only for each answer. Now, is there any number? No. Just one word. Oh, कितना आसान है यार. एक ही word लिखना है. ठीक है, जो मर्जी लिख लो. No. Health benefits of dance. So when you go back home, कुंडी लगा के खुल के एक दफा जो है ना health benefits enjoy कीजिएगा. Okay, now can you guys see in the first 2 bullet points there is no question. So please don't waste your time on these 2 bullet points. Just underline a word that will help you track the audio. First bullet point, please underline happiness. Got it? First bullet point, last word, happiness. So when they speak about happiness and dance, it means they have reached here, right? Next, dancing alone. Just underline alone. For alone, they can use the word dancing on your own and all that, right? Now, we read third point carefully. So where there is no question, don't waste, because for part 4, they will give you almost 1 minute to read questions 31 to 40. 1 minute. So you got to read all these things. So that is why where there is no question, underline one word that will appear in the audio and you can identify that audio has reached here, because tracking the audio is very important. Your pen and audio should go on together. Where the audio is, your pen should be there, like that. Okay, question number 31. An experiment on university students suggested that dance increases. Underline the word increases. And experiment on university students means research, study and all that. Dance increases. Now, for increases, they can use a variety of words. They might use the word much more. For example, if I say, dance increases confidence. Dance increases confidence. What does that mean? Dance makes you much more confident, something like that. So for increases, they will use the word much more, and whatever they say after that, that will be your answer. And it's going to be different every time.
Dancing is something that humans do when they want to have a good time. It's a universal response to music found in all cultures. But what's only been discovered recently is that dancing not only makes us feel good, it's also extremely good for our health. Dancing, like other forms of exercise, releases hormones, such as dopamine, which make us feel relaxed and happy. And it also reduces feelings of stress or anxiety. Dancing is also a sociable activity, which is another reason it makes us feel good. One study compared people's enjoyment of dancing at home in front of a video with dancing in a group in a studio. The people dancing in a group reported feeling happier, whereas those dancing alone did not.
Clear? You track the audio, answer has not come, and audio played for 44 seconds. So you have to go on step by step. Now it doesn't mean your pencil is on 31 and you are waiting. You got to track other stuff as well. Do one thing, put your finger on question 31 and this hand should move with the audio. Now they are going to come to 31.
In another experiment, university researchers at York and Sheffield took a group of students and sent each of them into a lab where music was played for 5 minutes. Each had to choose from 3 options: to sit and listen quietly to the music, to cycle on an exercise bike while they listened, or to get up and dance. All were given cognitive tasks to perform before and after. The results showed that those who chose to dance showed much more creativity when doing problem-solving tasks.
Showed much more creativity, exactly. Showed much more creativity, that means increases creativity. Now showed much more and increases, right? Answer is creativity with correct spelling. If you've got the wrong spelling, your answer will be wrong. Question number 32. For those with mental illness, dance could be used as a form of, underlined as a form of. Mental illness, Dance could be used as a form of. So for as a form of, they can use should be prescribed as. Should be prescribed as. Now let's see, what do they say? Form of what?
Dr. Lovett at the University of Hertfordshire believes dance could be a very useful way to help people suffering from mental health problems. He thinks dance should be prescribed as therapy to help people overcome issues such as depression.
Dance should be prescribed as therapy. Now, therapy as a form of therapy and should be prescribed as therapy. So, over here the word as will help you. And the correct spelling of therapy. Question number 33. And one more thing. When you're doing IELTS listening, I want you all to pay special attention to their accent, their pronunciation. As she said, therapy. Otherwise, therapy or whatever people say, therapy. Okay, so from listening, improve your accent, improve your pronunciation, and that will give you good bench score in speaking, right? Okay, let's go on. Next, we've got question number 33. Benefits of dance for older people. Yeah, babe bhi nacha dene apa. Benefits of dance for older people. Accessible for people with low levels of dash. Underline low levels of. Now they say dance is accessible for people with low levels of. Now whatever they say for low level of something, that will be your answer.
It's well established that dance is a good way of encouraging adolescent girls to take exercise. But what about older people? Studies have shown that there are enormous benefits for people in their 60s and beyond. One of the great things about dance is that there are no barriers to participation. Anyone can have a go, even those whose standard of fitness is quite low.
Even those whose standard of fitness is quite low. Standard of fitness is quite low means low levels of fitness. Exactly. Standards of fitness is quite low, low level of fitness. So sometimes they use it like that. They're like Rahat Fateh Ali Khan songs. Tere mast mast do nain, mere dil ka le gaye chain, mere dil ka le gaye chain. Exactly, active voice and passive voice. Okay, let's go on. Reduces the risk of heart disease, so just underline heart disease. Now, please listen carefully. Question number 34. Better dash reduces the risk of accidents. For the most part, I have seen for better, they use the word improved. Better, improved. For example, better health, improved health. Better and improved. So just see better dash reduces the risk of accidents. For accidents, they can use any other word. So let's see.
Dance can be especially beneficial for older adults who can't run or do more intense workouts, or for those who don't want to. One 2015 study found that even a gentle dance workout helps to promote a healthy heart. And there's plenty of evidence which suggests that dancing lowers the risk of falls, which could result in a broken hip, for example, by helping people to improve their balance.
By helping people to improve their balance. So improve their balance means better balance. So this is the language you need to focus. Every time you do listening, solve a test, focus this thing. Balance is the right answer. And for accidents, they use the word falls, gir jana. Okay, so babe jo dance karte hain, wo girte nahi hai phir. Yeah. 35, improves. Again, the word improves. 35, improves dash function by making it work faster. Maybe improves heart function by making it work faster. When you dance, your heart is beating fast. Maybe. So again, they use the word improves. So for improves, they can use any other word. Let's see what that is this time.
There are some less obvious benefits of dance for older people too. One thing I hadn't realised before researching this topic was that dance isn't just a physical challenge. It also requires a lot of concentration because you need to remember different steps and routines. For older people, this kind of activity is especially important because it forces their brain to process things more quickly and to retain more
it forces
information.
their brain. Yeah, it forces their brain. So forces their brain to do the things quickly. Quickly is faster, and improves is forces their brain. Answer is brain. B-R-A-I-N. Okay, good. Now, the next bullet point without question, well-being is the word you should underline. Next, gives people more dash to take exercise. Gives people more. Now, let's see what do they use for more, right?
Current research also shows that dance promotes a general sense of well-being in older participants, which can last up to a week after a class. Participants report feeling less tired and having greater motivation to be more active and
Having greater motivation. Now, underline the word more and write there greater. In listening, whenever you find the word more, they will replace it with greater motivation. Okay? Motivation is the right answer, exactly. Question number 37. Can lessen the feeling of, lessen means decrease, lessen the feeling of dash, very common in old people. What is very common in old people, by the way? Loneliness. Fear also, fear of death, it can be. Like that. But otherwise, yeah, it can be anything. Yeah. Question number 37.
ballroom or country dancing, both popular with older people, have to be done in groups. They require collaboration and often involve touching a dance partner, all of which encourages interaction on the dance floor. This helps to develop new relationships and can reduce older people's sense of isolation, which is a
Can reduce older people's sense of isolation. And the word for lesson, reduce. Reduce and lessen. See that? Part 4, mainly it's all about synonyms. Isolation is the right answer. Isolation means tanhai, akelapan and all that, right? Okay. Question number 38. Benefits of Zumba. Okay. You can go back home on YouTube, write Zumba and you'll find this. It's a dance that is exercise. Yeah, Zumba. All right. A study at the University of Wisconsin showed that doing Zumba for 40 minutes uses up as many. Whenever they use the word as many, it means a number. Or answer is going to be plural. As many dash as other quite intense. Now please underline as many. Uses up as many. So listen now. In the audio, for as many, they will use a number. For example, they say as many dash, 200 people. So 200 means as many and people will be the answer. So answer is going to come with a number. Let's see.
I also looked at the benefits of Zumba. 15 million people in 180 countries now regularly take a Zumba class, an aerobic workout based on Latin American dance moves. John Porcari, a professor of exercise and sports science at the University of Wisconsin, analyzed a group of women who were Zumba regulars and found that a class lasting 40 minutes burns about 370 calories. This is similar to moderately intense exercises.
So, as uses up as many calories, and for 370 they use the word as many. Right answer is calories. Okay, let's go on. Question. Sorry, no, not at all. If you write 370, because they didn't mention that, they said one word only. So if you write 370, then you are replacing as many. So that will be the wrong answer. Okay, let's go on. Question, all clear? Good. Question number 39. American Journal of Health Behavior Study showed that women suffering from, it means answer is going to be a disease. Right? Women suffering from dash benefited from doing Zumba. Let's see.
A study in the American Journal of Health Behavior showed that when women with obesity did Zumba 3 times a week for 16 weeks.
Women with obesity. Obesity is being fat, being overweight and all that, right? Women with obesity. All right. Yeah. Clear? Good. Question number 40. Zumba became a dash for the participants. Zumba became a dash. Underline the word became. For became, they can use any other word or like made, right? Became is second form. So they will use any second form and then they say that. Obesity or obesity. O-B-E-S-I-T-Y. Obesity. And by the way, if you write the wrong spelling, your answer will be considered wrong. So you should know these common words. So question number 40, please.
More importantly, the women enjoyed the class so much that they made it a habit and continued to attend
they made
class.
It a habit. So Zumba became a habit. And for Zumba, they use the word it. Made it a habit or Zumba became a habit. Okay. All right.